guys, it's Athena. I wanted to throw together a little video kind of sharing some of my favorite things lately. I think it'd be fun to be one of those people who has a monthly favorites kind of video. But honestly, I don't buy that many new things each month. I also am dedicating this video to Ember Honey Raven. She put out the call last night on Facebook saying, y'all, I need something to watch, get to filming. So I texted her today and said, I'll throw together something for you. Here you go, baby. And for anyone else. So some of my new favorite things. I discovered a lady on YouTube who's been on for years. She is not witchy or pagan or anything. Her channel name is Sugar Puff and Fluff. And I guess she was recommended to me, you know, by YouTube, like, you might like this. What I like about her is she's probably in my age bracket. I could be older, it's hard to tell, but she's definitely 40 plus, and she does little makeup tutorials about how to do makeup for your age and for. I didn't realize there was a name for what has happened to my eyes over the years. I thought it was from the alcohol or maybe a little weight gain or whatever, but I guess it's just the way it is. But I got hooded eyes. You know, this part kind of hangs down. Whatever. I learned it from Sugar Puff and Fluff. She did a whole tutorial on how to do makeup for hooded eyes. And honestly, man, I loved it. I loved it. I just sat there and watched her for 2 hours doing makeup tutorials, which is funny for me to do. Again, not really my thing. But then again, until that point, most makeup tutorials have been for young people. And I'm just like, whatever. So I like her stuff. So I went on a mission last weekend, went to Ulta, and realized I needed new brushes and new eyeshadow. And so here's another thing I wanted to share. I promise I will get to some witchy stuff, but I'm going in no particular order. This brand, Revolution, at first I thought it was like a Revlon thing, but it's so totally not, and it's really affordable. I can't remember exactly how much this was, but I'm guessing it was around 10 maybe. But these colors are beautiful. Turns out there's no wrong way to do things if you like it, but all the shimmer and all the sparkle and stuff, that's pretty much all I had. And that was awesome when I was 20. It was even awesome when I was 30. Now that I'm no longer in those age brackets, I have to use my shimmer sparingly. Anybody in my age group understands, I think. So this was a whole lot of matte stuff. I didn't have any matte stuff. And I love it. And it's affordable. And it's a good color. It's great colors and not ridiculously expensive. Because, yeah, first I looked at Urban Decay. I was like, do I want to spend $50? No. Because I'm buying more than one thing today. So that was 2 things I wanted to share. I think my little booger man is over there. I have bribed Poochie to let me do a video, and then he and I will celebrate. I promised him that we would have a little ice cream and watch our favorite movie again. This will be our 4th viewing. Our favorite movie. Oh, you guys. It's at Target now. I got this one for $20. You could get the Blu-ray or whatever for more. I bought the movie 2 weeks ago when it was first released through iTunes, and I paid like 20 bucks then. This movie is spiritual for me. This movie is like my religion. I have 3 definite parts in this movie that streaming. We bought the soundtrack. I'm so thrilled that right now, at least, Poochie likes it as much as I do. And I'm going to try so hard not to burn his butt out on it like I did with Frozen. Because I liked Frozen too. I know a lot of people did. And so I was all up in the Frozen, and we listened to that music constantly. And now, he doesn't even like to hear the word. If you talk about watch out for the sidewalk because it's frozen, he's like, no! It's like, honey, let it go. But I'm going to watch it sparingly with him. But he wants to watch it again today. Today will be the 4th time. You guys, tell me you love this as much as I do, because I love this with such huge, almost unnatural ferocity. Love it. And can I just say, because I'm not going to give a spoiler, but there are 3 scenes, like I said, that kill me. I did see the movie about 6 or 7 weeks after losing my mom, so I was in a raw state, and there's a part that reminds me of that. It's not like this character in there really reminds me of my mom, but at the same time, if you watch it, you'll see what I mean. But then there's an ending part. It speaks to me literally in a religious way. There's a representation in this movie of the goddess to me. There is a representation, a Gaia type character in there. I love the hell out of this movie. Have I exaggerated enough here? Here's the thing, I'm not even exaggerating.
We heard the expression, you don't own the land owns you.
That is something else that really affected me when we were there, and that was that everything was made right there and recyclable.
You use everything, you don't waste anything, and the coconut tree is the best example of that.
That water must taste good if I drink it.
Mm-hmm.
I'd rather drink that instead of milk.
Yeah, me too. There's another thing I want to share with you. Oh my gosh. Okay. So right now, I am taking an online class for my job because now I'm teaching AAP, which is Advanced Academics, and these are your kids who are seriously brilliant. It's been a really cool experience for me, but I have come across something that I kind of suspected just from being a mom. Long story short, my first son had a few challenges when he was born. Again, he's a sophomore in college. He's making A's and B's. He's got a girlfriend. He's doing good. But when he was coming along, nothing was easy for him. That kid worked twice as hard just to achieve what other people achieved. From physical things, because he's hypotonic. He had always had really poor muscle tone. To some learning stuff. He had processing issues. Anyway, this kid has worked really hard. And then came my little boy number 2, not Poochie. This is my second son who's 17. He had none of those challenges. He was like a blessed little kid. He had everything easy. He knew all his letters and sounds before he was 2, which is not normal. He's very, very, very smart. When he got to middle school, that was the first time he ever was challenged in any way, and that boy buckled under the pressure like nothing I've ever seen before. And I wasn't very compassionate. As empathetic as I say and believe I am, I also have a hard side where I'm like, buck up, buttercup, you know? And I'm like, honey, this is the first time you had to try your whole life, and your older brother has worked his ass off his whole life. Well, it turns out that's a thing. And I see that with my advanced kiddos. This is the first time when they come to 3rd grade and they're in the center, this is the first time they have ever had a math problem or a reading passage put in front of them that they couldn't do with their eyes closed, you know, upside down and backwards. I mean, the first time they've had to try, and half of them cry and freak out and get very angry. And part of me was like, welcome to the real world. Most of us have to try. It's kind of how I looked at it, but this book I'm reading for this class, this changes everything. So the author's name, Carol Dweck. Y'all, this is a game changer across the board. I don't care if you're a teacher or not. If you work with human beings in any capacity, this will help you. If you have children anywhere in your life, either your own or maybe you will one day, or maybe you know people with kids, I don't know. This is a game changer. I can't sit down and have a meeting or a conference with parents anymore without pulling this out and saying, y'all, I can't do required reading for parents, but game changer. I wish I'd had this with my first two boys, because I made a lot of mistakes. I did the best I could, and like Maya Angelou said, when you knew better, you did better. Took me a long time, but I'm finally doing better. Mindset. So, Ember, you love to read, and you may not think you need this, and you might not, because you're pretty advanced, but I will say, oh my God, it is so good. You know what blew my mind the other day? Alvine Green is in the middle of reading this book too, and I don't remember how we both realized we were reading the same book. I think I commented on one of her videos, and she was like, oh my gosh, yes, I'm reading that book. So, two witches give it thumbs up. Here's another product thingy I want to share with you. There is an amazing witch out there, Sarah Ann Lawless. She's up in Canada. She's the closest thing to the real deal. She's like tequila, okay? She's one of those real deal people who live it and breathe it and do it in everything. I guess I'm just sort of enamored in her because I've heard her talk. She's been on many podcasts, like interviewed and stuff. She has a product line, and it's fern and fungi, fun with a G-I, okay? I have some of her flying ointment. I have had quasi-interesting results with it. I'm a little bit on the fearful side. I don't slather it on me like you can, and, you know, I'm careful. But I bought this henbane product, and look what it's for. It works so well. It's a salve, and I've used a ton of it. I don't have a lot left. I used it right before I started recording because, again, I carry stress. I carry crap on my neck, and it was hurting. If I'm at home, I get my selenite, and I will sleep with that right leaned up against me, or I'll just lay it on there, and just the cool of it, plus I feel like it has pain-relieving properties. Your mileage may vary. All those things do help, but I had forgotten about this, so I got it back out. I won't say it smells great. It doesn't smell terrible. It hardly has a smell, but it definitely has a smell, because she's not putting perfumes and crap in there. She's putting really amazing stuff. So if you get online and look her up, she is an artist. She is so cool. I would definitely recommend looking her up and finding some interviews with her. She's the real deal. She works with bones. She works with some dark arts. She's not anything that people would lose their crap over. She's the real deal. So look her up. Sarah Ann Lawless. Okay, last thing I'm going to share. This is by no means new. I would say 50% or more of my videos have me using the word podcast in them, but here we go again. And Ember, this really does go out to you, because podcasts really have gotten me off of TV. The only thing I ever watch on TV anymore, ever, is The Magicians. Other than that, it's all podcasts and YouTube, and that is it. Ember, check out some podcasts. It's extremely easy if you don't use podcasts. It's so easy to find on your phone. So if you have that purple podcast tab on your phone, if you don't have it, you can probably get it super easy. But once you click on that, here are some of my faves. So let's see if you can see these. Oh, okay. Some of these are new. Paranormal, that one's super good. Ron's Amazing Stories is awesome. It plays old, like from the 40s, like radio shows, and people would act in it and do sound effects, and it's so good. I love it. Plus it has some modern stuff in there too, but love. Ember and other people. Tanis. Holy shit. So I've binged that one, and now I hate binging and then being caught up with stuff. I hate it. I mean, I can't stop. I can't stop the binging. But then when you're caught up and you're like, oh, now I get to wait. And Tanis, I have to wait 2 weeks in between each episode. Oh. And the way it's done, okay, so what it is a serialized docudrama. But here's the thing, they're pulling in real stuff. Like the girl in the elevator 3 or 4 years ago, Lisa Lamb or something like that. That creepy ass thing. I know y'all heard the story about that. You see the video footage of her and she's getting on and off the elevator and pushing the buttons and doing this weird hand gesture stuff, and there's never anyone there, and the elevator never closes the whole time she's standing there, and you don't know why, and it's messed up, and then eventually she walks away and it does close and then it stops, and so creepy because she was found dead a couple weeks later. That was the last time she was seen alive. She was found naked and floating in a little water thing that gave water to the hotel, and people only noticed after the water started coming out, and it was black and funky. Holy crap. So that's a real thing, and a real thing, and they bring that up in this podcast, which I wouldn't think they would bring in real stuff if there wasn't some truth to it, because that's disrespectful. And then real stuff about Tesla and shit he was working on when he died, and he died kind of mysteriously. I mean, he was in his 80s, so it's hard to be super mysterious if you make it to 86, but still, he was working on like a death ray thing. I mean, oh my gosh, this is so compelling and addictive and so well done. Y'all, Tanis. Up till now, I've always just listened to nonfiction stuff or witchy stuff, which is also nonfiction, or paranormal ghost story stuff. I love it. But this is the first time, this and the Black Tapes, which is put out by the same people who do Tanis. They are so freaking well done. It blurs the line between fiction and reality. It is so good. So, Ember, listen, tell me what you think. You would love it. I mean, maybe, I don't know. Plus, if you're ever on the road, podcast is so the way to go. I love that you can download everything before you leave. You don't have to stream it. I learned the hard way that gets expensive if you stream everything. But if you get the largest capacity phone that has the hugest storage, you can download everything your heart would ever desire and still have room to make videos. Other podcasts that I'm going to mention that are awesome, I will be repeating some, and my goal isn't right now to shout out every wonderful podcast I've ever listened to. I just want to share some that I was thinking Ember might enjoy. If you want something funny to listen to and witchy, I think you would love Inciting a Brewhaha. It's not the same as Inciting a Riot, which is good, but it's not hilarious. Inciting a Brewhaha. There's not a million episodes. Listen to every one of them except for number 3. I would skip that one unless you want to hear it. But they argue and fight, and I don't like that one. But all of the other ones, they are so funny. It's two like good friends, witchy friends, get together. Most of the episodes are like 2 hours long. They are freaking hilarious. 2 more funny ones. These are not witchy, but Sawbones. I have a feeling you would totally like this, Ember, since you are the same lady who had a Undertaker's bag of tools, like embalming tools and all that stuff. You'd probably like this, about the medical history of how things were treated over the centuries and how disgusting and gross and backwards things were. Oh my gosh, Pliny the Elder, he always had something to say, and it was usually ridiculous. Plus, it's a husband-wife duo, and he especially, the husband, he's ridiculously funny. So those are 2 if you're in the mood to laugh. Definitely listen to Sawbones and the other one. There's another one I've only listened to a couple times, but it was funny, and it was like WTF. And this guy, Mark Maron, I think, is that his name? I didn't look his name up, and I'm terrible with names, so if that's right, I'm impressed with myself. He interviews famous people. It's funny. I didn't like those quite as much for myself because they were a little on the raunchy side, which I get some people are more into raunchy stuff than I am. It wasn't really for me as much as some of the other ones. Plus, with thousands of podcasts to choose from, some of them have to like hit the chopping block. It will feed your inner raunchiness. If you like paranormal stuff, Beyond the Darkness is the newest podcast. It used to be called Darkness Radio. It's the same two dudes on there. They've been around for like more than a decade. They are also quite funny, and yet they interview people very interesting. I'm actually going to stop there with the podcast suggestions because I had more written down, but honestly, I'm just going to repeat myself. I have several videos out there about podcasts, and if anyone tries out these and decides, ooh, I do like this podcast thing, then I would say check out my other suggestions because they're amazing. Actually, I'm a lie. There's one more because I am a Patreon supporter of New World Witchery. They're like my family, so I gotta shout them out. You want to see another random thing? I stole something this week, and I'm not lying. I literally stole something this week. I look at it more like a rescue mission. This beautiful plant, this orchid, was sitting in our little conference room at school for the last 2 or 3 weeks, sitting in plastic in a depressing, windows closed, blinds closed, abysmal, fluorescent light hell. And we have to have these weekly, hour-long stupid meetings, and during that meeting, I would just be eyeballing that plant like, I will be rescuing you the minute I see any signs of wilting. But the minute I see a sign of wilting, you're coming home with me. Well, Thursday, baby came home with me. I cannot allow that beautiful, beautiful little flower to stay inside freaking plastic in a depressing, negative space. No. So guess what? It was a mercy stealing. And I don't feel bad. And my karma feels good about this because I did the right thing. And that, my dears, is the end of this extremely scattered and random video. These are a few of my favorite things. I hope that it brought any measure of entertainment to you. And if it did not, I'm sorry. But if you check out some of these podcasts or see Moana, it'll be worth it. Your time will be worth it because I'm sure among all those things, you'll find something you love. Thanks for watching. I love you. Have a great week. Peace.